Indiana Dunes Tourism, located between Chicago and South Bend in northwest Indiana, is a proud supporter of Irish Illustrated. Extend your Notre Dame visit with a trip to the nation's newest national park. Visit IndianaDunes.com.
Tim O'Malley with Tim Priester for Irish Illustrated in Palo Alto before the rain hits. It's coming in the next hour or so. You can kind of feel it changing, and if it does, it probably will change, not the outcome, but the tenor of the contest, because we do think that if Notre Dame and Stanford matched up on a dry field, that Notre Dame would run away with this one the way they are playing.
It shouldn't change the outcome, but we know that Notre Dame wants to and needs to throw the football. I think we're all thinking of Michigan-like rain. I'm not sure that that's exactly what's coming, but I'm certainly not a meteorologist, so I don't know for sure, and it's coming off the ocean. So obviously it's going to play a role, a factor in this game, but Notre Dame needs to throw it. They really want to throw it. Stanford doesn't defend it very well. Casey Tuhill is a good pass rusher, and their numbers indicate they're a good pass rushing team, but I think Notre Dame handles that pass rush tonight. But again, the weather could be a factor in exactly what Notre Dame wants to do offensively.
And what Stanford wants to do offensively, because Stanford has to throw it. They rank 123rd rushing nationally, that on the heels of 122nd last year, so it's not your older brother Stanford's offense. And, with Notre Dame fifth in the nation against the pass, we were saying earlier this week that, well, they've played a lot of one-dimensional teams, but they've also played some pretty good quarterbacks in Bryce Perkins, Jake Fromm, Keenan Slovis. Davis Mills has to throw to win, and the weather would obviously hurt Stanford as well.
I like Davis Mills. I mean, I think he's got a really bright future here. But their receiving core, there's some numbers that favor them, but overall, Notre Dame should have a huge advantage. Notre Dame is in the top 5 in like 4 major pass defense categories. I'm interested to see just how much Notre Dame can run, because they do have to run to some extent. And I think that you can, when you watch Stanford, their numbers indicate that they're capable of being good against the run. But when you watch them, you also know that a good charge by a Notre Dame offensive line, I think, can push this Stanford defensive front back.
I think if you have a concern of a Notre Dame fan, Myron Tagovailoa-Amosa probably will not play. Jason Adamiola was a game-time decision last week, but we heard all week he wasn't going to get in, and he looked awful in warm-ups last week. We'll try to keep an eye on him and update that on the message board today. If neither can go, obviously Jacob Lacey, no matter what, will have to start at defensive tackle with Hunter Spears backing him up.
We know that Isaiah Foskey is going to play some defensive end, or at least Brian Kelly said during the week that he would. We've said this during the week. You wonder if one of those bigger defensive ends like an Ogundeji maybe slides inside to give him some reps. They have to be a little bit creative. One thing I want to point out, red zone play, huge advantage for Notre Dame. We've said this in the past, and it doesn't always hold up in each individual game, but from a red zone standpoint, Notre Dame's offense, at least compared to Stanford's offense, way more productive once they get in the red zone.
Notre Dame hasn't won here since both teams were awful. In 2007, we both predicted a Notre Dame cover today. Rain or shine, or rain or clouds, I should say. What has to go wrong, and what could Stanford do to potentially pull off the upset? Because if both teams come with their best, or both teams come average, Notre Dame should pull this one out.
Turnovers, again, it's numbers in the past in previous games. Notre Dame plus 13, Stanford plus 1.
That's all for pregame. We'll be back postgame with more Irish Illustrated Insider after Notre Dame takes on Stanford in Palo Alto.